Welcome to Season 7, Episode 5 of Üzleti Angol S07 E05, the podcast that helps you improve your professional English skills through real-world stories and practical examples. I'm your host, Andrea, and today we are focusing on customer service, specifically how clear communication and going the extra mile can make all the difference in business. Looking for more inspiration to brush up your vocabulary and business English? Check out my website, where you can find a carefully selected collection of ebooks for job interviews, meetings, presentations, and workshops. Click the link in the episode notes below. So, this is episode 5 of season 7. In this episode, we'll be sharing a real-life story of John, a senior sales consultant who went above and beyond to ensure his customers not only understood their new solar panel system, but felt completely confident using it. It's a story about building trust, delivering value, and creating lasting customer relationships. Listen carefully for useful vocabulary and phrases related to customer interactions and problem solving. Let's get started. A customer-centered approach, John's story. John had been working in the solar panel industry for years, but he knew that each customer needed a personalized touch. One afternoon, he received a call from Mr. Thompson, a homeowner who had recently installed a solar system through John's company. "John, I'm a bit lost," Mr. Thompson admitted. "The panels are installed, but I can't figure out how to track the energy savings." John could hear the frustration in his voice. "No problem, Mr. Thompson," he said warmly. "I'll come by tomorrow and we'll go through it step by step." The next day, John arrived at Mr. Thompson's home. After a quick chat, they sat down with the solar monitoring app. John took his time explaining how to check daily energy production, monitor savings, and spot any potential issues. Mr. Thompson listened closely, asking questions along the way. "Here is a manual that covers everything we talked about," John said, handing over a printed guide. "I have also sent you a few video tutorials for future reference." Mr. Thompson smiled, clearly relieved. "Thank you, John. I wasn't expecting this much support." "It's important to us that you are fully comfortable with the system," John replied. "We want to make sure you get the most out of your investment." A few weeks later, John heard from Mr. Thompson again, not because of a problem, but because his neighbor was interested in solar panels. "I told him to call you," Mr. Thompson said. "You've been incredibly helpful." John hung up with a smile. Another satisfied customer and another step in building the company's reputation for outstanding service. As usual, I have selected a few phrases from John's story for you now, along with a short definition and an example sentence. So let's see the phrases one by one. Number 1 is personalized touch. It means customizing a service or support to meet individual customers' needs. The example: "The hotel staff provided a personalized touch by remembering our names and preferences." Number 2, "I'm a bit lost." It means a feeling of confusion or uncertainty about something. For example, "After the meeting, I was a bit lost about the project timeline and needed clarification." Number 3, "To take your time." It means to proceed without hurry or to do something at a comfortable pace. For example, "Don't rush through the exam. Take your time to think about each question." Number 4 is step by step. It means breaking down a process into manageable parts or stages. For example, "The tutorial showed us how to assemble the furniture step by step." Number 5 is to monitor savings. It means to keep track of the amount of money or energy saved over time. For example, You can monitor your savings by checking your bank statement regularly. Number 6 is future reference. It means information that can be referred to or consulted later. For example, I saved the recipe for future reference because it was delicious. Number 7 is to be fully comfortable. It means to be completely at ease or confident in a situation. For example, after several practice sessions, I felt fully comfortable speaking in front of a large audience. And our last word today is outstanding service, which means a service that is exceptionally good or impressive. The example sentence is, the restaurant was known for its outstanding service and delicious food. And now it's your turn. You are going to hear 5 statements, based on the story, of course, which might be true or false. Listen and say whether the sentences you hear are true or false. And of course, I'm going to provide the correct answers as well after a short pause. So, number 1. John immediately provided a quick fix over the phone to help Mr. Thompson with his solar panel system. Of course, it's false, because John scheduled a follow-up visit and took his time explaining the system in person. Number 2. John demonstrated how to use the solar monitoring app by tracking daily energy production. Yes, it's true, because he showed Mr. Thompson how to track energy production and other important features. Number 3. John handed Mr. Thompson a printed guide and also sent video tutorials via email. Yes, it is true. John provided both a printed user manual and video tutorials for future reference. Number 4. Mr. Thompson was disappointed with the level of support he received from John. Of course, it's false, because Mr. Thompson was impressed with the support and even recommended John's services to his neighbor. And our last sentence is, John's company focuses only on selling solar panels and does not offer any additional customer service. It is false, because John's company provides ongoing support to help customers fully benefit from their solar panel systems. Last but not least, let's revise the most important phrases you just heard together. You can repeat after me. Personalized touch. I'm a bit lost. Take your time. Step by step. To monitor savings. Future reference. To be fully comfortable. Outstanding service. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Üzleti Angol S07 E05 podcast. I hope you enjoyed hearing John's story and picked up some useful expressions and techniques for improving your customer service skills in English. Remember, clear communication is key in building strong relationships with clients. And if you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe and share it with your colleagues. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time on episode 6 for more tips and stories to boost your professional English.